I want to talk to you about a conflict resolution technique that I learned when I was on retreat with my family last year. And I want to talk about why, even though this technique seems at face value very simple, how in the midst of conflict it can kind of be challenging and why. So the premise of the technique is very simple, that when we're in a conflict with someone in our life, that before we express why we're having trouble with them, that we tell them three things about them that we love or that we appreciate in them. And after we've told them, then we can tell them from a position of I feel like, from I statement, what's going on with me. And it's a really beautiful practice. It allows the other person to know that even though they're about to hear some things that may be difficult, that at the very core of the relationship is something worthwhile and beautiful and worth attending to. So, for some reason though, this can be very difficult when we're feeling angry. Because when we're feeling angry and we feel like we really just want to get this thing off our chest that's really bothering us about the other person, it feels like you're giving away precious ground to that person by letting them know what you love about them or what you appreciate about them. That as if by telling them that you really do love them and you really do see goodness in them, that somehow you're making your own ground too vulnerable. That you may lose some part of your argument by telling them that you see that they are good. So when we get into fights with other people, when we get into conflicts with other people, we tend to want to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where I stand. And if you want to be back in relationship with me, you need to cross over this line because I'm not budging. And I'm going to try and illustrate this for you actually on this piece of paper, and hopefully this will work. So it goes like this. Here you are, right? And here's the other person. And here's the line that you draw in the sand. And as you make your argument, everywhere you turn, you draw another line in the sand, and then another line in the sand, and then another line in the sand, and another. And the person you're in relationships perhaps is doing the same thing, drawing line after line in the sand everywhere you turn during your argument. And what happens when we do that is that we each find ourselves on a very small and lonely patch of sand. And we may stand there and feel very righteous in our stance, but we are also very much alone, and we have nowhere to move. And that can bring us nothing but unhappiness. On the other hand, if we were to begin our discussion with the other person by reaching out with love, then love becomes our common ground, the place where we can find resolution. And that is actually, if we can have faith in that, a much more powerful place to be. Righteousness can make us feel very powerful when we're in the midst of a conflict. But righteousness will not bring us happiness, and ultimately it won't bring us resolution. If we begin with faith in our love and our appreciation for one another, then resolution becomes much more easy because we have a place on that ground where we can meet. Well, I hope when you watch this video, you can find a way to open your heart to someone you have a conflict with. And when you go to them, let them know that you love them and you appreciate them, and specifically tell them what you love and appreciate in them. And you'll find that their heart, when it's touched this way, is much, much more open to the resolution of the conflict. Have a wonderful day, everyone.